Hello, everybody, and welcome. I am Bricker Boom, and today we're taking a huge chance and trying to beat the game Pokemon FireRed with only a Chansey. Chansey is a pretty tanky Pokemon given its large HP pool, but to look at all of its stats, it's got a pitiful attack and pretty bad defense stat, a decent special attack, and a pretty alright special defense. Chansey is definitely more of a setup Pokemon, and while I want to someday do a physical attack only run for Chansey, today is most certainly not that day. Overall, I think that Chansey will probably be able to beat the game, but I truthfully don't know what level. Brock will be an issue, Sabrina will be an issue, and I absolutely know Bruno will be as well. To take a look at the rules, I can only use Chansey in battle, but I can use other Pokemon for HM use. I can't use items in battle, but items outside of battle are totally fine. I do allow rare candy level ups because grinding for hours upon hours a day isn't something I have time or a desire to do. To offset that, I do attempt any battle at least 4 times to make sure it's not bad RNG or just a misclick on my part because that still happens quite frequently. But let's go ahead and hop into it. We give the rival Charmander for this particular run because it honestly doesn't matter too much. Venusaur we'd have Psychic to use against it, and Blastoise we go and learn Thunderbolt. The main reason Charizard was the choice is because it does have some good physical attacking moves, so it may be the hardest for us to face. Looking at our ability, we have Serene Grace, which means any move that has a secondary effect is more likely to activate. I remember this being huge in my baby Pokemon run with Togepi, so I'm happy to see it back in play. We have a Bold Nature, which means higher defense, but less attack, which is fine. Hopefully, by the time that we get past Misty, we can start learning a variety of special attacking moves and not focus too much on the physical aspect. For the beginning lab rival battle, we look at our moveset being Pound, Growl, and Tail Whip. Not the best set of moves, but we'll try to make the best of it. Even at this level, we have a lot of HP, and we get a lucky crit. That lets us take it down at least somewhat quickly. Pound is pretty weak overall, so hopefully we'll be able to ditch these moves sooner rather than later. As we complete the beginning of the game, we make sure to fight every wild Pokemon we come across and every bug trainer. Combine our low attack stat and the fact that they have Cocoon Pokemon that can harden and beef up their own defense, it takes a while to get through the forest. Pound has 35 uses, and usually to take out a single bug Pokemon, we have to use at least 15 of those. Because of that, we have to keep running back to the Pokemon Center to heal in between battles, but we do eventually make it through all the trainers and then head to the optional rival fight. This rival fight is not as bad as you may think. Despite Pidgey sand attacking us, we only use about half the Pound PP that we have to be able to win the battle. We still have a decent amount of HP left when it's all said and done, because of course we do, and then we go ahead and move on to fight Brock. We attempt this fight at level 15 because that's how long it takes to get past the junior trainer. Brock starts with Geodude, and this battle is way too long to even attempt to cover. Just in watching the footage, we obviously are going to use Pound as much as possible and heal up whenever possible. The problem is Geodude will swap between Defense Curl and attacking, so even with Tail Whip, its defense is still up. When it finally goes down, and then Onix comes out, we use all 6 Tail Whips to test damage, and it's still awful. We're barely doing any damage to the Pokemon, and I quickly realize we're not going to be able to beat this thing because our attack stat is just too low. Even if we get lucky with multiple critical hits, well, honestly, unless every single attack is a critical hit, we probably can't win this. If we do struggle, we have the issue of no longer being able to heal, so without any other real options in mind, we just go ahead and level up. And I just want to point out here, our attack is barely going up. The levels are basically helping us tank attacks easier. At level 20, it's kind of the same story, there just isn't too much to cover. Both Pokemon are an absolute slog, and we're just swapping between Tail Whip, Pound, and then Soft Boiled to remain healthy. After a few full minutes, and keep in mind I do use Speed Up, we do finally take the victory, but special attacks cannot come soon enough. Not that our special attack is too much better. I bet Chansey would be an absolute monster in red, blue, and yellow. We make our way to the route to the right, and we make sure to fight all the trainers leading into the cave. We also make sure to grab the dome fossil, and despite its horrible accuracy, we grab Mega Punch. Our attack stat is garbage, but having something that packs more of a punch
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
can be incredibly useful for us, and real talk, the moment that TMs become available, we'll abandon using anything that relies on attack anyway. Once we get to Cerulean, we can go ahead and go fight Misty. Given the fact that we picked up Minimize, we should be able to avoid most of the attacks, but let's see how we do. Misty sends out Staryu, and we hit with Mega Punch, then Minimize a little bit. We soften it up with some Tail Whips and two-shot it. With Starmie, we can tank the Swifts and Tail Whip it, using Soft Boiled to remain healthy. After that, we go on the offensive, taking it right to about half with one punch, before taking it out with the next, and finally gaining a move that relies on our special attack rather than our physical attack. Going to the rival, we use Water Pulse to take Pidgeotto to almost half, and missing far too many attacks before it goes down. With Rattata, we can take it down with 2 Water Pulses, and the same can be said with Charmander. Abra can attack, so we can take our time with this, and then we win, and Chansey can evolve in this? I didn't adjust the game leveling in any way, and I thought Blissey would be locked behind the post-game, so I'm admittedly a little bit surprised. Anyway, we can make our way through the route to the north, and also through some of the trainers on the ship. Now that we're going to be able to have access to a few special attacking moves, I feel like the game will likely end up being a little bit easier, but I don't want to jump too far ahead. We do have a rival fight that we need to get past before we can even move on to the other parts of the game. The good news is, if for some reason Surge would be too difficult, not likely, we could move on to other parts of the game. But anyway, rival time. The rival starts with Pidgeotto, and we open Water Pulse, taking it to almost half. Sand Attack hits, and then Quick Attack, and a crit Water Pulse is enough to take it out. Raticate is next, so we continue with Water Pulse, dealing decent damage. We do get Tail Whipped, which is concerning, but Raticate hits itself, and that takes it down. Kadabra's out, and we swap to Mega Punch, missing it, and then taking it to about half. We swap back to Water Pulse after a Kinesis and take it down. Last is Charmeleon, and we spend a few turns missing before taking it to yellow as it hits itself, and we can take it out after about 30 missed attacks and a few heal-ups. We give the captain a quick rub down, and then it's good time to fight Surge. Voltorb is up first, and we use Water Pulse, taking it to half as Sonic Boom hits. The next Water Pulse then takes it down. Next up is Pikachu, and we use Water Pulse, taking it to yellow as it begins double teaming, but thankfully, we can take it down with the next turn. Last up is Raichu, and we use Water Pulse, taking not much of its health as we get Thunder Waved. Raichu begins setting up Double Team and Quick Attacks as we start missing and getting paralyzed. Surge does end up healing, and from there it's a lot of back and forth to get Raichu back down to yellow. We do end up using Soft Boiled to keep our HP somewhat stable, since we spend a lot of time paralyzed. After far too many turns of paralysis, we finally break through that, and the accuracy drops, and land a Water Pulse to finally take it out and win the battle. With 3 badges down, this is where Chansey will be able to show off some power, or rather, Chansey will be able to show off some power once we get access to some much-needed TMs. At the game corner, we'll be able to grab Ice Beam and Thunderbolt, though for now, we'll be keeping Shockwave. With some of the Pokemon that we'll be going against having the ability to lower our accuracy, having a Never Fail move is amazing. We do, however, make sure to grab Psychic as well, learn that, and then after that we go ahead and go face Giovanni with an updated moveset, and see how we do. Now, I haven't done this for a while, and I messed up in the recording process. I kinda recorded my starting soon screen for about 30 minutes before I realized what happens. Because of that, we don't have the Giovanni fight or Erica fight, but realistically, they weren't that difficult, to be honest. With Chansey having a slightly better special, we're able to make our way through the fights pretty easily. So our recording picks back up at the tower with the rival, and then Pidgeotto goes down to 2 Shockwaves, and Gyarados goes down to 1. With the Execute, we can start chipping away at it with Psychics. Thankfully, we get incredibly lucky with Stun Spore misses, so when it faints, we go to Kadabra without worry. With Kadabra, we can take it out with 2 Water Pulses and get a level up in the process, and then after that, Charmeleon is able to go down with only 2 more Water Pulses, and we can move on. Now we have the rest of the tower to clear, and it's on our way through the rest of the game. Cycling Road and the Safari Zone, but you know what that means. Time for some Safari Zone scramble, and this one is going to be a big one. With this, and I had decided at the beginning of the recording process, no matter what we get, this will be our team for an upcoming challenge run. If we catch more than 6, we can definitely rotate out, but to explain the rules, if I catch an Nidoran, but not an Nidorino, then I can't evolve. At the end of the day, we know that we'll be able to beat this particular challenge, but I just want to see how a potentially all pre-evolved team can perform. If it's an easy run, I may see if I can have all of these encounters in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and then try it again there. Also, what is your favorite Safari Zone mon? Personally, despite knowing it's not the best, is Rhyhorn. It's such a cool design, and to me is just it's a quintessential Pokemon. Anyway, I'll focus on what we capture this time around for Safari Zone Scramble, and introduce you to the team that we'll have to pick from. We catch Doduo, Execute, Nidoran, Venomoth, Rhyhorn, Nidorino, and Paris. Now, if I had to guess, my team will likely be Doduo, Venomoth, Rhyhorn, Nidorino, Execute, and Paris. Pokemon that some of them I've used before, and one that'll at least have some decent coverage. Again, I know we'll be able to beat the challenge, but having a diverse team is gonna be fun. I haven't actually got to do this except for Nuzlocke. On to Koga. With Koga, he first sends out Coughing, and we can take it down with a single Psychic. I just realized we must have felt very confident going into this particular battle because we didn't even heal or replenish our PP. And then there's Muck, who doesn't even go to half and uses Minimize. Another Psychic is a much needed critical hit, and that takes it down. Next up is the other Coughing, and we're able to take it down with another Psychic. Finally, we have Wheezing, and Psychic takes it to about half. Smokescreen hits, but we're able to push past that and knock it out. One more gym down, and since I missed a gym, I'll give overall thoughts of Chansey now that we're officially halfway done. For the most part, Chansey is a great setup Pokemon, given the fact that it can learn Screens, Soft Boiled, Double Team, Toxic, and obviously plenty more. Chansey can do a long stall battle or set up and drain opponents' PP, and as we're showing in the challenge run, though it isn't ideal, it can also very slowly win battles. As long as you stay away from physical moves, Chansey isn't the best, but it's also not the worst, so part of me does definitely want to give this a shot in Red, Blue, Yellow, since the special stat is combined. I have to imagine in that game, it just hits like an absolute freight train. In the meantime, though, we do make our way to Silph Co, and we can square off against the rival. I'm not 100% sure if we're going to be able to win, but let's find out. Pidgeot goes to red with Shockwave, which is a crit, and then hits us with Feather Dance, so it goes down next turn. Gyarados is next, and we use Shockwave, taking it to yellow, despite the fact that it's 4 times effective, only getting hit with Shockwave before it goes down. Next up is Charizard, who hits us with Smokescreen, but we can retaliate with Water Pulse to do a little damage. We switch to Shockwave to make sure we'll be able to damage it effectively. Wing Attack hits pretty hard as we use Shockwave again to take it down. As Execute comes out, we use Soft Boil to heal up, and Stun Spore misses. We miss a Psychic, and another Stun Spore misses, as we connect Psychic for a little damage, but we do lower its special. It misses Poison Powder, and we take it to below half as it finally paralyzes us. We get hit for a little damage with Confusion, and take it to red before taking it out. Last is Alakazam, and it uses Calm Mind as we stay paralyzed. Reflect is set up, and we hit Shockwave for just a little bit of damage. After that, it's just a lot of Alakazam just trying to use Future Sight and us staying paralyzed, but we finally managed to pop off a few attacks, taking it down to win the fight. Next up is Giovanni, and we open up with Psychic, taking it to yellow. Poison Sting does end up poisoning us, and we heal up, but I'm just thankful it's not toxic damage. After that, we can take it out. Nidoqueen is next, so we use Psychic, though it didn't do as much as I'd hoped. And then we heal up before Water Pulse brings it below half as it hits itself in Confusion. After that, we can take it down with one more Water Pulse. That's a crit. Kangaskhan is up and we heal up, Rage just doing a little bit of damage. Psychic does about a quarter, but we lower its special, so the next attack brings it to yellow, thankfully. Kangaskhan misses its attack, and we take it to a Sliver, so we can then heal up and take it out. After that, it's Rhyhorn, which is a simple one-shot, and that wins us the battle. After this, it's time for us to go to Cinnabar. Given the fact that we attack with special and Sabrina's got special defense for days, and our strongest attack isn't very effective, let's go ahead and go fight Blaine. Get ourselves a badge boost and then try, but before we get ahead of ourselves too much, how does that Blaine fight go? Growlithe is first, so we use Water Pulse, taking it to low yellow, and we also confuse it. It smacks itself in confusion, and then Blaine heals up. After that, it only takes 2 more Water Pulse attacks to take it down. Next up is Ponyta, and Water Pulse takes it below half as Fire Spin misses. After that, we can take it down with 1 more attack. Rapidash is next, and it's not quite doing half as it sets up Fire Spin. We take it to low yellow, and Stomp does a good bit of damage, and then Blaine heals up. We make sure to heal up, and then we can take it out after a hard-hitting bounce. Last but not least is Arcanine. Haven't said that in a long time. And we can hit it with Water Pulse and confuse it as it smacks itself. Blaine heals the confusion, and we take it to yellow and confuse the poor doggo again. After that, 1 more Water Pulse knocks it out, and that wins a pretty simple first try victory. Thankfully, we actually remember to go back and challenge Sabrina, rather than going to Viridian and getting super confused. Kadabra's up first, and we use Water Pulse, taking it close to half and confuse it as Kadabra smacks itself just below half. After that, that lets us take it out next turn. Mr. Mime is up, and Water Pulse is doing maybe a quarter damage as it sets up Calm Mind. Water Pulse is now doing maybe about a fifth as it continues setting up. We continue to hit it with Water Pulse, mostly hoping for the confusion, but Psybeam isn't doing too much to us. We can take it to about a fourth as it smacks itself, but then Sabrina heals up. After that, it's a ping battle, getting it back down to red as we lower its special twice, and a few turns later, Sabrina heals up again. Back to work. We finally get it down to red, and then it baton passes over to Venomoth, who I'd rather have it swap to than Alakazam. We heal up, get hit with Psybeam, and take Venomoth out with 2 Psychics, thankfully avoiding a Supersonic. When it goes down, Mr. Mime comes out to immediately go down. Naturally, as soon as Alakazam comes out, it immediately begins setting up Calm Mind as we begin using Shockwave, hitting it with a critical hit. And then after that, it's just a few more attacks and we take it down not too long after. That was a lot longer of a battle than I thought it was going to be, but you know what isn't a long battle? Giovanni. Rhyhorn goes down in 1 shot, and then Nidoqueen goes to red with a critical hit. Water Pulse as Earthquake hits hard. Giovanni heals up, and we take it just below half with Psychic before knocking it out. Next out is Nidoking, and we use Psychic, taking it to yellow as another Earthquake takes us below half. We heal up, and then we can knock it down. Dugtrio is 10 times out of 10 gonna outspeed us, and it hits with Earthquake before going to almost red with Water Pulse. Giovanni heals up, and then we can take it out 2 turns later. Lastly is Rhyhorn, and we take it down with a single Water Pulse, and that's that. 8 badges down. We have 1 more rival fight before we head into the Elite Four, so let's see how we do. Pidgeot is up first, and we open with Ice Beam, taking it below half. Wing Attack does a good bit of damage before we take it down. Rhyhorn is an easy 1-shot, and so is Execute. After that, it's whittling down the Alakazam as best as we can, healing up whatever our HP gets too low before it goes down. Gyarados is next, and Shockwave takes it below half and it goes down. After that, we spend some time healing up with Charizard and repeat the Shockwave process, taking it out not too long after and letting us move on to the Elite Four. With the Elite Four, this is going to be pretty difficult for us for the first half, but the back half should be easy enough. With Lorelei and Bruno, I can technically beat Lorelei at a lower level, and I'm going to show the footage here. But the problem is, we end up running out of power points by the time we get to Bruno and Agatha, so for once, due to lack of ethers and elixirs found, we actually end up having to level up just to make sure that we have the proper firepower going forward. I do want to lay it out on the table and say that I should have absolutely found other ethers and elixirs, but I just didn't have the time to restart, go hunt them down, even with game guides, because I'm going to be honest, I'm barely getting these out on time. I am doing my best, but it is a struggle. So at level 70, we take Dugong to almost half as it uses Safeguard. We can take it to red as it sets up Hail, and then Lorelei heals up. After that, it's only a few attacks and it goes down. Cloyster is next and goes down to a single Thunderbolt. After that, Slowbro takes a lot of time to get taken down. We swap between our attacks, in between being put to sleep and take it down. Lapras likes to confuse us, so we heal up when we have to and then take it down with a few Thunderbolts. Jinx has been a thorn in our side from the get-go and will repeatedly put us to sleep. Jinx is also the main issue, but not resistant to Thunderbolt, so that's our main form of attack, as we finally take it down, winning us another really long battle. With Bruno, for the sake of time, I'm not going to cover the lost attempts. Just like in prior runs, take a look at the footage. We can't outspeed any of his Pokemon except for Onix, and even on a good attempt where Rock Tomb misses and we can get to it, we usually can't take out Hitmonlee. Then there's the Machamp that's waiting for us in the wings as well, and Cross Chop is an absolute nightmare. At level 85 and about 10 attempts in, this happens. Onix goes down to Ice Beam and we finally outspeed the Hitmonchan. We do get hit with Sky Uppercut, but we actually freeze it, heal up, and take it down. With Hitmonlee, Brick Break hits hard, and with Machamp, Cross Chop finally misses as we take it out, and then after that, Onix is a one-shot. Cross Chop usually ended up taking us out, so the miss was necessary. At lower levels, we would only be able to take it to about half, then the berry would heal it up above half, we wouldn't deal the appropriate damage, and then Cross Chop would knock us out. On to Agatha, and after such a difficult 2 battles of the Elite Four, I'm happy to say this one wasn't too bad. Gengar is a one-shot, and with Golbat it's actually a 2-shot, but Agatha heals up, so it takes a bit longer. After that, Arbok does poison us, but goes down easily enough, and then the Gengar goes down. We heal up as the Haunter sets up Curse, and then it goes down to win us a pretty simple battle. Lance time. Gyarados goes to not quite half, but since we don't have any Thunderbolts left, we swap between that and Psychic. Aerodactyl hits hard with Wing Attack, but a crit takes it down. Dragonite goes to a Sliver, and then Lance heals up before it goes down. The Dragonair goes to a Sliver and hits us before it goes down, and then the second Dragonair goes down to a single Ice Beam. Alright, I'll take 2 simple battles. Final rival time. Pidgeot goes down to a few Thunderbolts and an Ice Beam after a heal up. The Alakazam goes down to a couple Ice Beams, which is a pleasant surprise. Execute puts us to sleep, and then... Executor puts us to sleep, and then we wake up and Ice Beam it in one shot. Rhydon goes to red, gets healed up, and then 2 more Ice Beams knock it out. Gyarados hits us with Dragon Rage, and then Thunderbolt knocks it out. We can take Charizard below half with Thunderbolt, as it hits us with a pretty weak attack, and it goes down a few turns later to win us the battle and the run. With this challenge, it was definitely a lot harder than I had expected in most parts of the game. Like I said, I think Chansey will do well in first gen, but fighting types, and especially defensive Mons, made this a lot more difficult than I thought. One of these days, I'd like to do a Chansey using only physical move runs, but for that I will absolutely reset until I get an Adamant Nature. Too bad I can't have huge power as an ability. I'm looking into some new things, Pokemon-wise, to add to the channel. Things like randomizing Scarlet and Violet starters and then battling them. I'm not 100% sure what will be going on for next week's challenge, because I don't know if I want to do the Safari Zone Mons now or later. But if you want to follow me, the Discord is definitely the best place to follow the challenges I have going on. If you want to support me outside of Twitch and YouTube, Patreon is the way to go. And as always, if you like the video, even if you didn't like the video, hit the like and subscribe button, because it really does help me out. And until next time, everybody, peace out.